We're in Geneva and we're about to go into the UN Committee conference room.
We're with the Get Ready for Geneva project, and we're going to witness the UK government's examination by the UN Committee on how they're putting children's rights into practice in the UK.
How do you feel about what's been said in today's conference?
I think today we've had a good discussion so far. The government has made clear its position, added to the information we had already in the reports. And the committee members, as you have seen, have also raised many questions because we believe that the UK could do more, that there are areas that they need to focus a bit more and also accelerate implementation on the rights of children in the UK.
How do you feel about the participation of children with regards to, just in all areas of participation?
The convention requires and really advocates that children be given the opportunity to participate in all aspects of life that pertain to them. And the committee fully supports this position and promotes it.
We submitted a report in June in a Geneva conference. What do you think of children submitting their own report?
Well, I think it's extremely important that young people and children submit a report on what their experience with this convention is, because often it's very different from how adults describe it to us. So we welcome the opportunity to receive reports from young people, from children, and from organizations that represent young people. And it really is important that all folks, all people affected by this convention get back to us with their experience, with what it's like on what we call on the ground for young people, and whether this convention is real in their lives or just a bunch of words. For us, obviously, it's important that this be real in the lives of children, and that's why this afternoon and this morning you've seen all these questions to the government about, well, what does it mean? You know, what's actually happening in your country to make this real in the lives of children?
I think the committee this morning have shown real knowledge and real insight into the problems in the UK. They've asked some penetrating questions. I also have no doubt that what Cray did, what the young people did, what the commissioners did and the NGOs when we came here in June has had a huge impact because all the committee members showed themselves to be very knowledgeable about the issues, and some of the words almost came literally from what we had put into them in June. So I do think that the committee is doing a good job in pressing government on some really important issues.
Why do you think it's important children are involved in the process?
Look, it's absolutely crucial. This is all about children and young people, and you are the world experts. It's not possible for me, as a granddad, to really know in depth what it's like to be young. And so it is vitally important, and of course it also fits with the UN Convention itself, Article 12, the right to participation and to make sure your views are being taken note of. So I'm absolutely, totally persuaded that children have a central role to play in this process, and their views and voices must be listened to. And of course the Children's Commissioners, and the four of us across the UK, that's what we're trying to do.
What do you hope to get out of the concluding observations? Sort of what will then be done when they're issued?
Well, we hope to get some very clear steers which will help us take forward the progress we are already making on better lives for children and on children's rights. And one thing which I will make clear tomorrow is that we'll take the concluding observations very seriously. And we'll work with you with the Children and Youth Board in the department. Colleagues in Scotland, Northern Ireland and Wales will work with their young people. Ministers will be involved, and we'll listen very carefully to the concluding observations, and we'll reflect on them in the next document we're doing on our children's plan. You know the children's plan, and we're going to do a one-year-on document, and we'll see if we can reflect on the concluding observations in that.
How do you feel about children being involved with the whole process?
I hope you think that there's been a greater degree of children and young people's involvement this time, and I hope you will feel that there will be a greater degree of your involvement in taking it all forward and looking at the concluding observations. But you know, you've been here as well as being involved before. How do you feel about it?
I think it's really good because children in all sorts of circumstances get to comment on how their lives are, so adults can see how we feel. And I found it a really good opportunity and I've enjoyed it.
And also because children are ultimately the people who we are discussing, like who you have been discussing for the last 6 hours. So therefore, you know, you have to include them. I'm not saying you're suggesting you shouldn't, I'm saying you have to include them to really, you know, get the full potential out of today and out of really improving the world for children.
Well, that's great, I think. I mean, I think that's a really positive note on which to end this little discussion, in the sense that we're all in the same place, and you're absolutely right. You know, it would be a strange set of proceedings if you weren't here, and if you hadn't contributed to bringing us here, and if you don't take part in taking it forward, and I'm sure you will, which would be great.
Do thank genuinely all the children and young people who've taken part in this process. I have no doubt at all that your input was crucial, and I have no doubt that the committee members understand that and they've listened to what you've had to say. So very well done, and thank you.